Alright guys, today we're going to be out here removing some tint off the rear window of a Toyota Corolla. I've had some issues before getting it off with the rear defrost, so we're going to go ahead and take you along for this ride, but it should be pretty quick and simple, so let's get started. Nasty bubbling tint is about to be a thing of the past. This stuff is going to be out of here in no time. Today's tools will be a pair of good gloves, a razor blade, and a decent heat gun. If you've got one of the Harbor Freight specials, that'll totally work. However, I like to use one of these fairly decent ones that have got the external temperature control on the side. We're going to run it at a fairly low temp today so that we can just get the tint hot enough to remove it, but the rest of the car not hot enough as to melt trim, etc. We're looking for a little bit hotter than a hair dryer here, maybe 170 degrees or so. Okay, to get started, I take a razor blade and kind of pick at the corner here. I'm looking to pull a piece off that I'm going to be able to pull on while wearing gloves. With this tint, it was pretty easy to select a section towards the top that was already bubbled. Also towards the top, I don't have to worry about the defrost lines running horizontally there, so I can get a little bit liberal with the razor blade. Once I have that going on, I take out the heat gun and start applying heat. Of course, being careful not to light the roof of the car or any trim pieces on fire. Of course, setting it low, the temperature that is on the heat gun, will really help out. If you look carefully, you can see that I take the piece that I've peeled off and kind of make almost a circular kind of motion as I pull, so that I can pull it away from that corner, and then I've got the corner piece to pull on, and I'll get that going towards the middle of the window then. Always kind of evenly heating with the heat gun back and forth while slowly pulling on the film. If you do that well, you can actually get it to where you've got a fairly long piece of tint that you're holding on to, and just a constant pressure there will cause it to come away from the window as you slowly move that heat gun back and forth. Right here, I am starting along the driver's side edge of the window, and again moving towards the middle of the car. I'm going to kind of speed it up here so that this goes a lot more quickly than it did. You can see that it is really a pain, and it is slow going given the speed that I've done. On occasion, you'll see that I get out of the car either totally and pull from the inside with the tint, or perhaps I have got just the heat gun outside of the car working the heat on the window and pulling the tint from the inside. You're going to have to do a lot of different things here. The key is patience. Getting the glue off isn't really too big of a thing, but getting the tint off can be a real doozy. Again, be careful with those defrost lines. If you nick one of those and cut through it, really, I guess nicking it isn't the end of the world, but if you cut through it with that razor blade, you now have to kind of try and solder that back together. I know they make repair kits for that, but anybody who's ever tried to do that before or seen a car that's had it done knows that that just does not look good. That looks really tacky, and once it's done, it's done. Honestly, I would rather have the one defrost line not working on the back of the car than look at that unsightly garbage of one of those little repair deals. Not the best shot in the world here, but with the tint all off and the glue and everything still on, I pulled out the trim so that I could spray down the rear window with some ammonia, which goes a long way in pulling off the glue. I did make sure to cover up speakers and any little holes and gaps and things with some cloth or paper towels. Try and keep that out of the trunk as much as possible. And here I am with one of those, I don't know, little Scotch-Brite sponge deals that you steal from your wife. I'm using the sponge side, but as long as you don't get too crazy with it, I have used that sort of plasticky abrasive side on the defrost lines with no ill effects whatsoever. But honestly, the glue on this tent was very easy to take off with just some ammonia. I did use a little bit of 3M adhesive remover. I took it real easy with that, sprayed it on a rag, and just kind of went lightly to get, if you will, a little bit of the top part of it off, right, just to cut down the thickness of it a little bit. But once I put the ammonia on the window, it disappeared. The glue did. So that was pretty nice. In the past, I've tried a garbage bag over it, other things like that, if it was really being difficult, but I didn't have to do that this time. I started to and skipped right by that. So nonetheless, ammonia on the rear window, take off the adhesive, and you're ready to admire your work. Alright, there she blows. Fresh, clean glass with no bubbly tint getting in the way of your nice vision out the rear. This is going to look nice. I'm sure that my friend will really enjoy having a clear windshield again, and it won't look tacky. Guys, this is an easy one. Don't be afraid to take off that old tint. Even if you have somebody else put on the new, this will still save you money in the meantime. Until next time.